Welcome to the iWealth podcast. Today we're with Mr. Brad Connors from iWealth, and we're talking about affluent families, in particular 5 to 25 million. What are they not catching that they need to be thinking about as you're helping that type of very affluent family?
Yeah, and the thing is so you say very affluent. Some people would say, it's all predicated on where you're at, right? I know how you grew up, and you know how I grew up. Like, even to say that, someone from $5 million is just way out there from the standpoint of net worth and things like that. But, the stock market has delivered some darn good returns over the last 20 years, and people have saved money and put it away. And so to get to $5 million net worth, so your house, hopefully you own it and don't have a bunch of debt, but you take your house, less debt, your vehicles, all the stuff you own, different real estate, and then your 401ks and things like that. It's not as hard these days, Matt, to get to $1 million or $5 million. But it's a little bit different when you get to that 5 to 20 million. Like, if you think about somebody, Matt, that you grew up with that had, a 2 million plus, or if you knew anyone, I don't even know if I knew anyone in that 5 million range. Today I do, obviously, but what was different about those families? Like, did they do things differently? Did they travel more? Like, what are some of the things you think of when you think of affluent families?
Well, the ones that were really, really good at it, you didn't know.
Yeah.
That was the telltale sign. If you were really good at it, you had no idea. You couldn't tell a difference, right? They drove the Honda Civic, right? But a lot of times it's like vacation. Like if there's a telltale sign, it's like, oh, they're actually going on like a legit elaborate vacation. That seems to be the telltale sign, at least in the Midwest.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also would agree that I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Like Trudy and I have talked a lot. Like, we've built a house and it's beautiful, but it's just sticks at the end of the day. It's what's being made in that house, meaning family time and friends time and experiences and memories and things like that. And so when you look at travel, to me, travel is a telltale sign. Agree with you wholeheartedly, but I also agree with that you should travel. Like, if you have some money to have an experience, you should do that. So drive your Datsun pickup truck, I guess, but go on your trip to Europe with your family or something like that. Like, you and I think both are in alignment there. But when you look at $5 to $25 million of net worth, some things change, and one of the things that stands out is estate taxes. In the state of Minnesota, which we live, you get over $3 million, or if you have a farm, maybe $5 million in net worth, you start to look at 10 to 15% of that net worth that's going to get paid to the state just because you live in this state. And so, there needs to be some planning done. Somebody has $10 million of net worth, a husband and wife, they might need to own the assets differently. Like, they each maybe need to own some. They might want to look at a trust that they put some of those assets in. So some things start to change as that net worth grows. And, when I say estate, do you think people understand what estate taxes are?
No, as a general rule of thumb, no.
I don't either. You've got income taxes. We all understand that.
Yep.
And then we've got property taxes. We all understand that. We have sales taxes when we go and buy.
People definitely understand that one.
They understand that. But estate taxes are everything you own. So even if you have a life insurance for $100,000, Matt, and you passed away, that life insurance is income tax free. You don't have to pay any income taxes on it. Your family doesn't. You're gone. Family doesn't have to pay anything on it. But that $100,000 gets put in your estate if it's not owned in a trust. And so if you have $3 million estate and you die and you have a $100,000 life insurance policy, your estate just went to $3.1 million, and it's taxed by the state of Minnesota. So federal taxes changed, and we've got the expansion of the federal gift tax, which gets us up to $12 million a person, and that kind of goes up over time. So that's not a big deal at $10 million, but the state matters. And so if you live in South Dakota, maybe you're fine. If you live in Minnesota, you got some planning to do around that net worth to kind of protect it, so your family doesn't have to give another $500,000 or $1 million.
And this is all stuff that you are helping people with.
Yeah, and I think that, and you bring up a good point, Matt. Like, when somebody goes to see a financial advisor, it shouldn't be just, here's my statement And am I invested in the right things? That's certainly part of it. But a good financial advisor is going to ask these questions and help educate. Like, I think we play an education role in all of our clients' lives, yep, so that they have a better understanding of what's going on. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to draw up the big estate plan and do the legal work, but we're going to sit in a meeting with the lawyer and help educate the lawyer on what's important to our clients.
Yep.
So, because we can probably articulate it in some ways better. And then we understand where some of the bones are buried if we did a good job of asking the questions around the kids. You know, how do they want to receive the funds?
Yep.
And I would say that leads me into another thing. Like, when you think of a young family and you think, well, just think of your own family. If something would have happened to your mom and dad, and let's say they had a big life insurance policy, and you know, all three of you received $3 million at the same time and you're 18 years old,
yeah,
maybe you act differently, meaning you're still your person, but maybe you spend it differently than your other brothers or vice versa. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. We're just totally different people.
Right. And then it's also who's going to influence you. You know, if I'm married early and I'm married to a nice young lady that is smart with money, I'm probably going to be better
yep,
than you that are traveling Europe and buying Corvettes and doing other things with her, right? Just to pick on you. But so when it comes to somebody with $5 to $25 million of net worth and they have children, should those children be created equally or equitably? Like, how should they receive their dollars?
Yep.
Like, to pick on you again, if you were one of these kids that I'm like, I don't know how Matt's going to handle this. You know, maybe Matt's $2 million gets put into a trust that he gets interest off of until he's 30 and more mature, and then he gets free will to it. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah.
You can slowly ratchet them into it.
Right. Yeah, you can treat them, everybody can get their $2 million each, but when they receive it and how they receive it can be different.
Yep.
Based upon their lifestyle and what you think their aptitude is in handling money and those type of things. So I think, you know, to much is given, more is expected. Like, if you have more of a net worth, you've got to put some more time in around the planning and how you're going to set this up for your family so that they don't fail too. You know?
Big deal.
Yeah.
I like it.
What do you think around families in giving? Do you think that there's, you know, $5 to $25 million if we're focused on that segment of the population? Like, what's your take on, are those affluent families giving more, doing more? Like, what are your thoughts there? Like, you've been involved in a lot of different
giving things. As a general rule of thumb, I think that you can't outgive God. And if I was to put a stake in the ground, that would be the first stake. Mm-hmm. And the families that give but don't always give in a showy way are usually my favorite. Mm-hmm. And it seems like right now there's this give to get mentality. And not that there's really anything that's inherently wrong or sinful or whatever about that. I think that sometimes checking your motivation at the door, and it's like, oh, well, let's go to the gala, and then at the same time, I'll bid this up for, you know, maybe it's worth $1,000, but I'm going to bid $15,000 on this. Why? Because then everyone around me knows that, like, we are affluent, right? Uh-huh. And so it's, yeah, we're going to get the whatever the $1,000 thing is, but that give to get thing, it's like, just check your personality at the door. Yeah. That's the big thing lately. And there's a lot of people that are doing that. And it is a formula that works, but it also is a double-edged sword. And so being very conscious about that is what I'm seeing consistently.
That formula that works is, I think what you're referring to is like reciprocity, right? Like, too much has been given, much will be received. Like, if you can give, then you'll receive. And is your heart in the right spot with those intentions, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have the iWealth Foundation, and we give some scholarships in Waseca and Waterville, and we're proud of it and that kind of thing. But on the other side of it, if the humanly way is like you stick your chest out a little bit and like, look at me, we're giving money exactly. to help people, and that's not the right mentality, right, in your mind. And so, yeah, my favorite giving is where Trudy and I give and nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Right. That it's just kind of in secret, because then I know that my heart's more pure around it, and I'm not, sitting around having a cup of coffee with you bragging about my gift that I gave to somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of like the people, and again, just having the access that we have, the people that are at the top of it are giving quietly. And then the people that are like one step down, there's this social positioning thing that's happening at a lot of the giving things that I'm involved with. And that social positioning thing is good because it creates a lot of good from it. But there's also like jockeying for what those spots are so that everyone knows as you're the give to get formula.
Yeah.
Well, it's all under the umbrella of it's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, you were correct. Check your heart at the door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at mentally with that.
Yeah.
So
I just recently met with an affluent family, and they told me that there was a new campaign going on where they were asking for money, and they're like, if I can't make a big stake in this, meaning like my gift doesn't change things or really gets them over the hump, then I'm probably not going to give. So they kind of bundle their giving into larger chunks of money so they can make and I thought that was interesting, right or wrong. I just thought it was interesting that, as business owners, you and I both know we get hit up all day long on 50 here and 100 there and those things that happen, which could be for great causes. But in their mind, that 100 needs to be a $10,000 gift, and then they make an impact. Like they want to make an impact with the gift. And I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. And I would put them in the humble givers kind of category. So I just thought that was interesting. There's back to that $5 to $25 million. Like there's some ways to do some gifts to help with those estate taxes, to help with some tax planning along the way. To use some charities. A donor advised fund is a great way to do it. That's what we set up for iWealth, and we give 1% of our net revenue in, and Trudy and I throw extra money in every year. So donor advised funds are easy to set up, great to manage, and they help with taxes. If a farmer wants to reduce his taxes this year, he can go buy a tractor and pay $100,000 and reduce his income taxes. Or you can put $100,000 in a donor advised fund, have the same deduction, and then have that money sitting there to do some good things with it down the road. Oh. But can't plant corn with it either. So that, there's a give and take. But I also think, in this $5 to $25 million segment, like taxes are a big deal. And, we don't talk about finances all the time. We go out for dinner with friends and things like that. But when I meet with affluent families in that range, they want to mitigate taxes as much as they can. Does taxes ever get brought up in your circles? Like, does anybody talk about my property taxes or?
Yeah, just complaining, and that's about it.
Right.
Then it usually switches back to the football game or something.
Right. And I think on a premise, like taxes are okay on a premise from a standpoint of, like, this place burns down. We want that fire truck to show up, and some of our taxes are going there, right? I just think that many of us feel like it's too much, and especially living in the state of Minnesota. Yeah. I have clients that are leaving every year, that leave this state, and the state will tell you that, oh, that's not true, or try to put a different spin on it. Like, it's true. I have people leaving this state that they love because of taxes, and so that's on them. They've got to justify that in their mind and move away from their families. It's not something that even if I wanted to, Trudy would let me do, especially if we happen to have grandkids or be blessed to do that down the road. But anyway, taxes are a big thing in that segment too. Like, how do not necessarily tax avoidance, but how do we reduce the amount of taxes? And portfolio management can do a big thing, can do a big part of that. Like, we have one manager that we work with that they believe that they can save between 2.5% and 3% a year for a client, based upon taxes and minimizing or reducing or eliminating taxes, which is a big, big deal on somebody that has $4 million in a portfolio that they got to pay taxes on each and every year. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Those are all great things, and it's definitely a unique group that you get to work with.
To bring this thing home, you had mentioned at the beginning, like, what did that look like as a kid? Somebody that we thought was affluent, we went to travel But you talked about, the smart ones, the ones that you like the most are the ones that you really don't know. And I've noticed that in my practice over the last 30 years, Matt. Like the clients that I enjoy being around and dealing with are business owners that are doing well, but you wouldn't know, right?
Yep.
They're not flaunting it. They're not, flying around in their private jets and posting pictures on Instagram about it. They just put their head down, work hard, and have built up a nice net worth. The bigger question is what are they going to do with it? Like, those are some of the interesting questions now. Is once you've built it, you started from nothing and you've got $25 million net worth. Like, how do you get rid of it? Like, what's the best way to get rid of it at death, prior to death? Taxes, like all those things are pieces of the puzzle that are fun to work with the CPA and attorney on.
It's all of your world.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Matt. It was good to catch up with 5 to 25. We've not talked about this segment, but that segment's growing. Like, the numbers are real. It's not unusual to see people that have $1 million in their 401k anymore. Like, it's just not unusual because people are good savers and the market have done well. So that segment, that 5 to 25 million, is a growing population. It's not like some far-fetched land that's out there anymore. Like, it's definitely doable for people that put their heads down and save and want to have some good money for down the road.
Yep. And there's always the passage about a good man leaves an inheritance, not only to his children, but his children's children.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a good way to wrap it up, is just kind of thinking about how do you do this not for your kids, but for your kids' kids, and then have them have the correct heart around it.
I love that.
All right. We'll see you back here next time on the iWealth podcast.
All right. Thanks, Matt.